Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Chelsea news video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff, people. We're less than 50 away now from 16k, so please hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. In today's video, guys, we're going to be going through all of the latest news, including the future of Joao Felix, the goalkeeping situation heading into next season, and much more. But let's kick things off with Joao Felix, because, guys, you know my thoughts on him. He's a prime example of why you shouldn't do business for PSR reasons over actually trying to build the best squad possible. He went on loan to AC Milan, and I'm not sure if you've seen it. There's a clip doing the rounds on social media from a game, I think it was Monday night, or maybe from Sunday. I can't remember exactly which day, but from Milan's most recent game, I think against Empoli, it looks like in the footage, where you've got in the tunnel Kyle Walker saying to Joao Felix, "Just pass the ball, we're not Messi," was the translation. And so when you've got Kyle Walker saying that to you, when you watch the highlights of Felix's performance in that latest Milan game, this guy's finished. Absolutely finished. Yet another club that doesn't want him. And Romano reporting that Milan, barring any big surprises, are not going to sign Felix on a permanent basis. He'll return to Chelsea, who will then decide whether they want to keep him or whether they'll explore other options. You know, they're going to try and potentially find a new challenge for him in Turkey or Saudi or possibly in Portugal, with maybe a return to Benfica. But guys, this is what I've been telling you. So many people are like, "Oh, Charlie, we're always criticising Felix. Oh, you never say anything about anyone else." I do, but there's good reason for me criticising Felix, because this guy is constantly under-delivering everywhere he goes. But apparently, because he's got a bit of aura, because he's got a few nice touches on the ball, people love him. The guy's useless. Absolutely useless, people. He's performing worse at AC Milan than he did for Chelsea. He's 007 in Serie A. No goals, no assists in 7 games. And no one's even mentioning it, because it's not even a surprise. And no one's really bothered. No one is really bothered. And the problem with this piece of business is that we're going to struggle to offload him for a fee anywhere near the £45 million that we paid last summer. And instead of being able to give a foreign loan slot to a developing youngster who needs it, we're probably going to end up wasting a foreign loan spot on Joao Felix, because we cannot get rid of the guy, because no one wants to sign him on a permanent basis. And I've got no idea why clubs keep wanting to sign Joao Felix. How much more evidence do you need? How much more evidence do you need? And it's another classic example of the grass isn't always greener. He didn't play very much in the first half of the season, granted. Started 3 Premier League games, but it was him who wanted a new challenge already. He's gone to Milan, and it's not worked out. It's not worked out at all. And funnily enough, if he'd actually stayed at Chelsea, given the injuries that we've had, he actually probably would have played a lot of football. And it just goes to show that sometimes, you know, leaving is not always the right decision. Now, we know that Maresca didn't want him. We know that the reason and the purposes that he was signed for. But ultimately, it was his decision to leave. He wanted to leave. And that decision has backfired. And now Chelsea are going to be in a difficult situation where they're facing with a scenario of, how on earth do we get rid of these guys? Remember, guys, on the live show last week or whenever it was, I said, I can guarantee you Felix will end up in Turkey or Saudi next summer. And that's looking like exactly what is going to happen. You could see him at a Galatasaray very, very easily. Exactly the sort of place that he could end up in. And truth be told, this guy's under-delivered everywhere he's been. I think he won Atletico Madrid's Player of the Season in the 21-22 season. And since then, nothing. Absolutely anonymous. A very talented boy on his day, absolutely. His day's not very often. He flatters to deceive. He's got 0 end product. And the idea of him is far greater than the reality of him. So, yeah, that's the latest on Joao Felix, guys. I don't want to do an I told you so, but I did tell you. This guy's useless. And the sooner people realise that, the better. And it's an expensive mistake. It's a £45 million mistake, and it's going to cost us an international loan spot next season. And we're going to get nowhere near what we paid for him. At best, Joao Felix, in my opinion, he's a 30 million quid player now. That's the reality. And if someone offered that this summer, you bite their hand off and you take it and you move on and you never ever make that Joao Felix mistake ever again. But yeah, that is the latest with him. Chelsea are going to be stuck with him. We're going to probably end up loaning him again. And we're going to have to hope that he does all right to try and recoup some of the money that we wasted on him. And this is the sort of business we must stop doing as a football club, guys. But moving away from Joao Felix and on to Chelsea and the goalkeeping situation. We had a piece in the Telegraph from Matt Law on Monday stating that the current plan is for Chelsea not to sign a new goalkeeper unless an unmissable or unbelievable opportunity presents itself, which maybe is a possibility. But apparently all goalkeepers are going to be thoroughly assessed in the summer, and Petrovic and Penders are both going to be given a chance to impress. Now, the most obvious thing here, and this is what should happen, is that Robert Sanchez, under no circumstances, should be anywhere near Chelsea's pool of goalkeepers next season. It's way too early for Mike Penders. There's a lot of potential with Penders. There's a lot of hype with Penders. There's a lot of high hopes for him at the football club, but he's really only in his first season of being a number one in Belgium. We need a better loan for Penders. Maybe send him to Strasbourg, play regularly there, replace Petrovic, increased level, higher level, more first-team experience, and maybe in 1 or 2 years, he could well be ready to challenge for that number one spot. And then you've got, obviously, Petrovic, who should return. He's got the most complete passes of any goalkeeper, I think, in Europe's top 5 leagues. He's having a phenomenal season for Strasbourg. Liam Rossini has called him world-class. And if he does come back and become the Chelsea number one, don't fall for the inevitable spin that there's going to be, because it will end up, the spin will be, they'll use Petrovic's success story as an example of the loan system working really well. When actually, the reality of the situation is Chelsea tried all summer to flip Petrovic for a profit. They couldn't do it, and then they had to eventually settle for sending him on loan to Strasbourg. That is the reality, but if he comes back as number one, they'll try and spin that as, oh yeah, this is a great example of how the loan system to Strasbourg works really well. Less of that. I can see right through it. You tried to get rid of this guy, you couldn't do it, and now he's showing you actually how good he is, and he's kind of embarrassed you with the decision that you made, because our best goalkeeper is currently not playing for us. But yeah, look, I don't know what the thorough assessment's going to involve, but Petrovic has proven that he's easily Chelsea's best goalkeeper. I think he's more than good enough to play for us next season. If he can be number one for a couple of seasons until Penders is ready, until Penders has developed a little bit more, then you've got Penders and Penders and Petrovic maybe to battle it out for the number one slot. Maybe a goalkeeper comes available, a top class one that you can't say no to. But the reality is Robert Sanchez cannot be here next season. It should be Petrovic number one, Jorgensen number two, Penders on loan to Strasbourg or another high quality loan, and Robert Sanchez sold or given away, or whatever you have to do. Terminate his contract. At this point, I really don't care. As long as he's not in the Chelsea squad next season, as long as he's not putting a Chelsea shirt on next season, I don't care how much money we get for him, and I do not care where he goes. But we also could be in a scenario, guys, where if Chelsea and Strasbourg both qualify for the Champions League, which is a possibility, by the way, then there won't be any loans allowed between the two clubs if they qualify for the same European competition. Now, the Telegraph reporting that both Chelsea and Strasbourg have got plans in place to cover that eventuality, and they're prepared for that potential situation were it to arise. And we also wouldn't want a situation where Chelsea aren't playing Champions League football, but Strasbourg are, which again is a scenario which potentially could happen. But Strasbourg seems to be a really good place for developing players. Petrovic has come on leaps and bounds. Andre Santos has absolutely smashed it. And it is an example of that multi-club system working well. You look at Liverpool's owners now at FSG looking to try and get Malaga. It's a route that a lot of the bigger clubs now are looking to go down. We got in there early with a great club with Strasbourg. We obviously need to add more clubs to the model. I'm sure that will happen in due course. But it is an example of how you can use that to your benefit. You can manage the minutes. You can closely monitor a player's progress, and we're getting the rich rewards for that, hopefully, and both Santos and Petrovic coming back to Chelsea as much better footballers, ready to make a contribution to the first team. And that is a good example of how the loan system should work. Certainly in Santos's case, Not so much in Petrovic just because they tried to get rid of him, but it looks like, guys, there's going to be a very interesting summer ahead on this front in terms of transfers and whatnot. I mean, look, a new goalkeeper I wouldn't say no to, but a striker, centre-back and a winger are of a bigger priority in my opinion. And as I said, if an unbelievable opportunity presents itself, you go for it. If not, you give Petrovic the gloves and you get rid of Robert Sanchez. Simple as that. If I see anything else, I'm going to be fuming, and it just goes to show that the club's priorities are absolutely in the bin. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the latest Chelsea news, guys. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff, and I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.